All right, so a few days ago, Blur made an announcement that is a lot bigger than I think people realize. They don't understand necessarily the long-term impact that the shift that Blur is bringing to the NFT space could have on the space itself, because we are talking about a complete restructuring of the marketplaces, of the fee revenue generated by the teams. All of these things are sort of encompassed by what Blur's mission is, or at least, what they're pushing at the moment. So I want to read through their announcement and talk about it a little bit, because again, I don't know that everybody understands what the long-term impacts of an announcement like this, if every marketplace were to adopt a similar structure, what it could have on the NFT space. So Blur announced on February 21st, 300 million plus Blur will be distributed to the community in Season 2. What's the secret to maximizing rewards? Loyalty. Users with 100% loyalty have the highest chances of a mythical care packages, which are worth 100x uncommon care packages. Here are 3 ways to maximize your loyalty. So right away, they are gamifying their rewards program, which is kind of cool. I would say from a marketing perspective, like it's going to do the job, make them care packages. It kind of feels like, again, a game. It's gamifying their rewards program. 1, list through Blur. So right now we're talking about ways to gain this loyalty status with Blur. List through Blur. Whenever you list, make sure you list using Blur. You can use our advanced listing tools to list everywhere in one go, but in Season 2, there's only one way to maintain 100% loyalty. 2, in Season 2, you get a 100% loyalty score if you don't have listings anywhere else. Use our Maximize Loyalty button to remove your third-party listings and get your score to 100% in a single transaction. So what Blur's saying here is like, look, if you want the best shot at these big care package type rewards deals, delist from every other exchange and list them all on Blur. So this is like a straight up, I don't want to say attack, but it's a grab towards all these other marketplace customers, which is really OpenSea, right? And they even integrated a button to make it super easy to do that. All you got to do is click the button. It'll delist everything from the other exchanges. You relist them all on Blur, and now you have 100% loyalty, which gives you the best chance at the mythical care package. 3, listing rewards will be as large as bidding rewards. Max listing points equal listing times loyalty. The more you list, the more you earn. Listing blue chips helps, and listing more active collections helps. Use our listing tool to list by floor price, trait floor, and ladder lists. So this is where it starts to get a little controversial in my mind, because an exchange makes money on the sale, right? Not necessarily the buy, because the fee comes out from the sell side. So when someone sells an NFT, that's when, the commission is paid to the exchange, the fees and things like that. Now, in Blur's case, that fee is a lot less, and I think they're even doing 0% fees right now. But basically, they want everybody to start listing their NFTs on Blur, which, okay, whatever. But the thing is they're incentivizing the sell side heavily. And my thought here is that this could really have a major impact on NFT prices, really. And I think we've even seen that over the past few days. If you look at the NFT price trends, we've had one of the biggest dips in the NFT space in a long time, actually. Prices on everything are coming down pretty dramatically. Now, I'm not attributing that all to Blur, but I'm sure that, look, if you're incentivized to sell all your NFTs so that you get a chance at this mythical care package, I'm sure a lot of people are trying to do that. They're just listing and everything. They want to get these sales, that way they can earn these care packages. As silly as it might sound, from my understanding, there is some significant value to these mythical care packages. So again, you're gamifying the NFT space, but you're kind of taking away the control of the teams, because now it doesn't really matter what a team does with their NFT. People are, if they're selling to get this Blur airdrop or whatever it is, again, that's sort of out of the team's control. So this is where it starts to get controversial in my eyes again. Don't try to game the system. Relisting NFTs at an unrealistic price, sibling, or listing dead collections won't help. It's better to list and bid from the same wallet. Note, listing NFTs that Blur doesn't support yet on other marketplaces won't affect your loyalty. The majority of Blur will be distributed to community members who contribute to the protocol's success, and loyalty is one of the best ways to do that, no matter how much listing and bidding you do. P.S. You can contribute to the Blur community in many ways, including quote tweeting this thread with reasons for why you use Blur. So again, this is something that we have not seen in the NFT space yet. This like sort of rewards program, which I think the base of this is good, right? Like I think it's cool that these marketplaces start to give back to the people who use their marketplace. That's something that a lot of people have been complaining about with OpenSea, right? There's a lot of loyal users. OpenSea made tons and tons of money on NFTs, obviously. And so we haven't seen anything from them. They haven't done any airdrops. They haven't done anything really to give back to the community. Now, I'm not saying that they have to, right? I'm not saying necessarily that that's something they have to do, which they obviously don't. But it is kind of neat to see Blur doing this and giving back. But again, the incentive structure, I'm just worried that it's not good for the underlying NFT projects, because now we're bringing the focus to the marketplace, which is essentially dictating the price action on these NFTs that, again, the teams don't really have a whole lot of control. And when you talk about removing royalties, which was something we touched on in my last video, now you're changing the entire income stream of these NFT projects. The teams behind the NFTs, they have to come up with new ways to generate income. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I also don't know that it's a good thing, because I think as a result of this, what you could end up with is serial minters, or people, developers who come out with an NFT project, they mint it, because that is where the money will be made, because royalties are sort of going away. And then as soon as they mint, they might hang around for a week, and then they start a new project and try to mint that project, and just so on and so forth. Because again, the mint will be now the primary way to make money on your NFT project. Now, I know there's ways you could sell merchandise and stuff like that, but ultimately people aren't going to buy the merchandise if the project's not a blue chip for, most of the time. You're not going to sell a lot of merchandise, not enough to support a team. So again, really what's happening now is all the focus is being shifted to the mint, which is not, in my eyes, I don't view that as a good thing, because again, I think you'll end up with a lot of serial minters, these people who, they feel like there's no money to be made after the mint, and so they shift their focus to a new project. And so that's what I'm really worried about here, because I don't want to see that happen to the space, because ultimately I think that could, it could really harm the NFT space. And ultimately, I kind of liked where the space was at. Now, granted, it has a lot of issues. Like, there's a lot of things that need worked out. But that's the case for all of crypto, right? Like, there's aspects of every piece of crypto that need worked out. And I am totally open to a new way, a new income, stream for these NFT projects, or making them look to a different direction. But I think for now, until we come up with that solution, it's kind of tough to, just say like, okay, no more royalties, and you got to keep doing what you were doing. And, I just don't know that that's fair to the team. Now, I understand the argument that a lot of people have had. It's like, look, 10% fees, or royalties and things like that. That's craziness. Like, that is too much. And I will agree that in a lot of cases it is too much. So maybe to bring it down is a good idea, but to completely eliminate that, I don't know. And I know a lot of people, the other side of that argument is that, okay, you eliminate it, now you're forcing them to define a new revenue stream. So now they're going to be forced to try to figure this out, which could ultimately lead to good innovation, which is true. That could happen. So I will play devil's advocate there and say that that's a possibility as well. But again, I just wanted to touch on this because, again, I don't know that everybody is appreciating just how big of a deal what Blur is doing to the space. What it's having, the effect it's having on the space. Like, we are for the first time seeing a massive competitor to OpenSea, which OpenSea has just been the dominating, the totally dominant marketplace in the NFT space. Like, there was really no one else to talk about. I mean, there was LooksRare and a couple others that popped up, but they were nowhere near the size of OpenSea. But now we are seeing Blur compete on a volume level, sometimes, beating OpenSea. And I think even right now they're consistently beating OpenSea in volume. Now, I'm sure a lot of that is due to their reward system that they've got going on right now. But again, that's a pretty big deal. And competition is good. I will say that, because it does drive innovation. It's going to make OpenSea make a move, which we're already seeing, right, with their move to zero fees and stuff like that. So ultimately, the competition is good. But again, we just need to make sure that we are paying attention to the effects it's having on the underlying NFT projects and their teams. because again, that's where my focus is. I just want to make sure that they're taken care of, because ultimately, we don't have any NFTs if they're not willing to participate, or we end up with a bunch of scams. So not that there's already not a lot, but anyways, guys, I wanted to bring this up to your attention. If this is your first time to the channel, please like and subscribe. And with that being said, I will see you all next time.